You all can continue as per your requirement.
Sir, should we wait for Darshan sir or not?
He's not joining, so you all can do what yourself.
Okay. So I'll start with the presentation then.
I think coordinate with the others also, like Palak and Kaveri, then decide when to start.
Okay, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Palak ma'am, should I wait for more people to join in or should I start?
I guess we should wait for more 5 minutes.
Sure.
I think shall start the meeting.
We should start?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, all. I hope you all had a pleasant day. I am Ipcc Suman, a fellow intern. One of the tasks allotted to me during the course of this internship was to develop IEC materials from the Ipcc 6th Assessment Report. And on that note, let's start with the presentation. Climate change. Key takeaways from the Ipcc 6th Assessment Report. You all can see my screen, I hope?
Yes, it's peaceful.
And I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is an international body established by the United Nations in 1988. Sorry. In 1988 to provide objective scientific information on climate change. The IPCC 6th Assessment Report assesses the current state of climate system, including the observed changes in temperature, precipitation patterns, sea level rise, and other climate indicators. It provides updated projections for future climate scenarios based on different greenhouse gas emission pathways and assesses the potential impacts on ecosystems, human societies, and various sectors. It explores the potential of renewable energy, energy efficiency, carbon pricing, and other strategies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to a more sustainable and low carbon future. It provides insights into potential adaptation strategies across different sectors and regions, highlighting the need for proactive measures to protect vulnerable communities and ecosystems. Future climate change, risks, and long-term responses. Future warming will be primarily caused by future emissions, significantly impacting various components of the climate system. These impacts will be widespread, affecting all regions and occurring simultaneously. Compared to previous assessments, many climate-related risks are anticipated to be higher, and the projected long-term consequences could be multiple times greater than what is currently observed. The interaction between multiple climatic and non-climatic risks will result in compounding and cascading effects across different sectors and regions. Sea level rise, along with other irreversible changes, will persist for thousands of years, and the rate of these changes will depend on future emissions. Continued greenhouse gas emissions will lead to increased global warming. The ongoing emissions of greenhouse gases will contribute to a further rise in global temperatures. These emissions trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, leading to a phenomenon known as greenhouse effect. As more greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, accumulate in the atmosphere, they enhance this effect, causing the planet to warm. The consequences of increased global warming include a range of impacts, such as rising sea levels, more frequent and severe heat waves, altered precipitation patterns, and changes in ecosystems. Therefore, it is important to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to cleaner and more sustainable sources of energy to mitigate the impacts of global warming. Rapid reduction in greenhouse emissions will lead to a slowdown in global warming in around 2 decades. A rapid reduction in greenhouse gas emissions has the potential to significantly slow down global warming within a relatively short time frame, typically estimated to be around 2 decades. The rate at which Earth's temperature increases can be reduced by reducing the amount of heat-trapping gases released into the atmosphere. It is widely recognized that early and substantial emission reductions are essential to limit the extent of climate change and its associated impacts. Global warming is set to cross 1.5 degrees Celsius under current emission scenarios. Under current emission scenarios, global warming is projected to exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This level of warming has been identified as a critical threshold to avoid the most severe impacts of climate change. Crossing this threshold could result in more frequent and intense heat waves, increased sea level rise, disruptions to ecosystems, and other detrimental consequences. Therefore, it is crucial to take immediate and substantial actions to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions and limit global warming to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Further global mean sea level rise, ocean acidification, and deoxygenation. In addition to global warming, there are other significant climate change related impacts that are occurring or are projected to occur. These include further global mean sea level rise, ocean acidification, and deoxygenation. These additional impacts of climate change further emphasize the urgent need for mitigation efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to adapt and protect vulnerable coastal and marine ecosystems. Addressing these challenges requires collective action at local, national, and international levels to safeguard our oceans and coastal regions for future generations. Moving on to risks. Climate change has the potential to exacerbate several health-related challenges, including an increase in heat-related human mortality, the spread of foodborne, waterborne, and vector-borne diseases, and the emergence of mental health challenges. Climate change can impact the spread of diseases carried by vectors like mosquitoes and ticks. By addressing the underlying causes of climate change and prioritizing the health impacts, we can strive to protect vulnerable populations and promote overall well-being in the face of a changing climate. Climate change can contribute to several environmental impacts, including flooding, biodiversity loss, a decrease in food production, and an increased risk of landslides. Addressing these environmental impacts requires a comprehensive approach that includes reducing greenhouse gas emissions to mitigate climate change, implementing resilient infrastructure and land use to manage flood risks, conserving and restoring biodiversity and ecosystems, promoting sustainable agricultural practices, and enhancing early warning systems and disaster preparedness to mitigate landslide risks. In rural areas, vulnerability to impacts of climate change is often heightened compared to urban areas. This is primarily due to high reliance on climate. Addressing the vulnerability of rural areas requires a multidimensional approach that includes building climate resilience through sustainable agricultural practices, promoting diversified livelihood options, enhancing access to financial services and technology, strengthening social safety nets, improving infrastructure, and
Excuse me,
facilitating.
Abhipsha.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you please little bit slow? Yeah, it is very fast for us.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sure. Definitely. Should I repeat
Yeah,
this
yeah.
whole paragraph or should I just slow on from now onwards?
No, no, now onwards only. It will be
Okay.
okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Sure. Additionally, empowering rural communities to participate in decision-making processes and ensuring their voices are heard can contribute to a more effective and equitable climate change adaptation and mitigation strategies. Climate-sensitive livelihoods that are closely tied to natural resources and agricultural activities. Long-term responses. Government action at subnational, national, and international levels. It is important for government at all levels to collaborate, coordinate effects, and integrate climate considerations into various sectors and policies to achieve meaningful and effective climate change action. Sustainable change in energy systems that include transition to renewable energy, efficiency and conservation, smart grids and energy storage, carbon capture utilization and storage, and sustainable biomass. In conclusion, climate change is a pressing global challenge that requires immediate action. It poses significant risks to the environment, human societies, and the economy. Mitigating climate change through the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to clean energy sources, and promoting sustainable practices is crucial. Adaptation measures such as building resilience and supporting vulnerable communities are also essential. International cooperation and collaboration are the key to addressing climate change effectively. By taking collective action, we can work towards a more sustainable and resilient future for generations to come. With that, we have come to an end of the presentation. Thank you so much for lending your patient ear. The floor is now open to questions and discussions.
Anyone who have any doubt? I guess everyone understood the topic. It was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Manjeet, do we need to continue this meeting or end?
I don't think Manjeet sir is present with us right now, so I'm not sure.
Hello, Abhisa.
Hi.
It could be better if you summarize in the short.
Sorry, I don't get your. Sorry, your voice broke.
Short.
If you could summarize it again in short.
The topic.
Okay, I'll do that. So, the IPCC Sixth Assessment Report essentially talks about climate change and how it's affecting human societies and ecosystems. It says that continued greenhouse gas emissions will lead to increased global warming. Rapid reduction in greenhouse emissions will only lead to a slowdown in global warming in around 2 decades. Global warming is set to cross 1.5 degrees Celsius under current emission scenarios. Further global mean sea level rise, ocean acidification, and deoxygenation is to occur. The risks of these changes are that increase in heat-related human mortality, foodborne, waterborne, and vector-borne diseases and mental health challenges, flooding, biodiversity loss, decrease in food production, landslides, and vulnerability to climate change is heightened in rural areas as compared to urban areas due to climate-dependent lifestyle. On the Coming to long-term responses, government action at subnational, national, and international levels are required, including substantial change in energy systems. By taking a collective action, we can work towards a more sustainable and resilient future for generations to come.
Okay, thank you, Abhisa.
Sure, anytime. Thank you.
Okay, that's all. But I want to ask something from everyone. What about the updates of the campaign? किसी ने बात किया स्कूल में?
एक्चुअली स्कूल्स अभी ओपन नहीं हुए हैं, सो आई थिंक 20 को ओपन हो जाएंगे.
So you're going to contact offline.
या
What about others?
एक्चुअली आई वाज नॉट देयर इन लास्ट मीटिंग, तो क्या वो सारा लेटर्स जो ड्राफ्ट किया गया था प्रिंसिपल को वो सारा फिक्स हो गया है?
उत्कर्ष ने लास्ट में एक डॉक्यूमेंट फाइल भेजा था. उसमें जो लेटर है ना वो चेंज फॉर्मेट में है.
ओके
यूज दैट.
ओके, थैंक यू.
Anyone else? Why you
I
all are
think
silent? Someone was saying something.
no one can active. We should end the meeting, Palak.
I want to take suggestion from everyone. Like ये जो कल डिसाइड हुआ था, like सबको सिंगल सिंगल स्कूल हैंडल करना था. और किसी के पास कोई सजेशन है उस प्लान को ओवरऑल करने के लिए? लेटर वाला तो हो गया. यू हैव टू सेंड और यू हैव टू मीट इधर ऑफलाइन और ऑनलाइन मोड में बात करना पड़ेगा प्रिंसिपल से. व्हाट अबाउट द रेस्ट प्लान? आन्या, अंशिका, जैस्मिन,
या
एनीवन?
पलक, आई थिंक ना कि लाइक सर ने बोला था हमें 6 सेशन मिलेगा, 6 सेशन, ओके, मीटिंग के लिए. तो अगर हमारे पास 12 स्कूल्स है ना, तो हम लोग अगर सिंगल कंडक्ट करते हैं तो वो काफी ज्यादा वो सेशन चला जाएगा. तो हम लोग या तो उसको शिफ्ट में कर दें या फिर 2-3 स्कूल्स को मर्ज कर दें.
2-3 स्कूल को मर्ज इन द सेंस हर वीक?
हम्म.
Anyone else who would like to add something?
मैंने भी अभी स्कूल से बात नहीं किया क्योंकि मेरा कोई जान पहचान नहीं है और अभी स्कूल बंद है, तो 20 को खुलेगा तो फिर हम जाएंगे ऑफलाइन बात करने.
आई
तो
थिंक
आपके
सारे
पास
स्कूल्स 20 को खुल जाएंगे, तो वी हैव टू गिव ऑफलाइन सेशन टू देम और ऑनलाइन इट विल बी कंडक्टेड.
it will be online.
तो
फर्स्टली
वी
ना
हैव टू.
आपको बात करनी है स्कूल में और आपको उनके ईमेल पे या तो आप लेटर सेंड कर सकती हैं या फिर आप ऑफलाइन जाकर लेटर उन्हें दे सकते हैं. अगर वो कंफर्म करते हैं कि अगर उन्हें ये जूम सेशन करवाना है, देन आगे की स्टेप्स लिए जाएंगे उस स्कूल के साथ.
ओके.
I will suggest कि आप लोग बस एक मेल ड्रॉप कर दो. मेल तो वेबसाइट पे मिल जाएगा स्कूल के. एटलीस्ट ये चीज कंप्लीट कर लो.
या वहां से स्कूल्स फिल्टर हो जाएंगे ना कि कितने लोग इंटरेस्टेड हैं. लाइक सर ने बोला था इंटरेस्टेड स्कूल्स को ही हम लोग इन्वॉल्व करेंगे.
बट वो लोग जल्दी रिस्पॉन्स करेंगे तब तो.
इसलिए तो बोला मेल ड्रॉप कर दो, जब तक रिस्पॉन्स आ जाएगा. और अगर नहीं आता 1-2 दिन में, देन जस्ट गो अहेड, मीट देम. सेशंस ऑफलाइन करा सकते हैं बट वो प्रोसेस लेंदी हो जाएगा. तो सर ने सजेस्ट किया था जूम पे ज्यादा सही होगा. If you have any idea, Kajal, then please share with us. Anyone else who would like to add something? Or we should end this meeting?
I think we should end it.
Okay then. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Manjeet, can you end the meeting? Okay, you all can leave now.